Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna do a series. I'm gonna do a divorce series. I'm gonna do several videos. The first video I'm gonna do, which I'm gonna do today, is how to deal with divorce. The second one, I don't know if it'll be the second or the third one, but I'm gonna do how to deal with divorce, how to deal with divorce when there's children involved, how to deal with a partner cheating on you, and how to deal with a divorce when you still love your partner. Um, if you guys want to hear any other topics in the divorce um, series, just leave a comment below and just let me know. So basically, I just got off work and I'm gonna start taking my hair down because yeah, it needs to come down because I'm over it. So our topic today is gonna be how to deal with how to deal with a divorce. So dealing with a divorce can be pretty tough. It will it will feel like a loss. Like depending on oh yeah, my hair. I'm gonna spread a little bit. But yeah, so it'll definitely feel like, it is a loss, and it can be traumatic, depend on what end of the spectrum that you're in. So basically, if you're the one that initiated the divorce, oh, I don't know why this isn't spraying properly. If you're the one that initiated the divorce, then it might not feel as bad, but that's not necessarily true. Um, it is a loss, and at the end of the day, you have to learn how to kind of cope with it. So I was gonna give you guys, tips on how to deal with the divorce, how I've dealt with my divorce. I did touch on it a little bit in the previous video, so I'm just gonna go into more detail with it just to kickstart this series. It might be a little bit of a repeat of some stuff, but it's just to kickstart this particular series. So give you guys a little bit of backstory. So I don't know if y'all can hear me over the spraying, but I hope it doesn't do anything to the quality of the video. But in my situation, I was the one that actually initiated the divorce. And um, you know, even though I initiated the divorce, going into it, not that I thought it was going to be really easy. Like, I knew it would be tough. However, I didn't know how tough it was going to be, because I knew I was in a situation that I didn't necessarily want to be in anymore. And I didn't want to be in it anymore because with that version of my husband, of my now ex-husband, that wasn't the version of him that was, the best for either of us. It was toxic, and there was some other things going on, but it wasn't very good at all. So anyway, after I filed for, like, finally, after, like, we separated, and then I actually filed for my divorce. I did everything by myself. I didn't have a lawyer. I filled out all the paperwork by myself. Went to court on my own, submitted all the documents, and basically the packet is like, oh my gosh, it's about this thick, because we have a mutual child together. So it makes it, when it's just a simple dissolution of marriage, the package isn't as big, but when you have children involved, then it makes it a little bit more difficult, and there's more information that you have to give. So what I did was, honestly, the packet took me almost a month to fill out. Maybe it wouldn't take you guys a month to fill out, but just because I just had a lot of stuff going on, and I wanted to make sure I filled it out properly. I wanted to make sure time sharing, was done properly. I wanted to make sure everything was covered. So I was really, really detailed in how I did all of it. So I'll give you guys more details on that when we do the video with, going through a divorce with a child. But anyway, so I filed for my divorce, and then what I did was I got a therapist, because I knew I needed a therapist. I knew I needed a therapist, so I went ahead and I got one, and I started seeing her. And guys, when you're going to get a therapist, definitely, you know, check out who the therapist is. Do, search reviews on the therapist. If you guys know anyone that has been to that particular therapist, ask about them and see how they are. I love my therapist. She is absolutely amazing. I can relate to her, you know. Um, she's really, really good. So my hair, I need to be combed out. But anyway, y'all. So anyway, so yes, so I went ahead and I got a therapist because I knew I needed it. So how I made it through my divorce was I got a therapist. I kept myself busy. I definitely all the pain that I was feeling from being in a situation, and not necessarily because the marriage, well, I don't know, maybe yeah, because the marriage failed. But because the hopes that I had of the marriage being more than what it was. When you get married to someone, you don't think initially that, you guys are going to get a divorce. Nobody go into a marriage thinking it's going to fail. So it was definitely hurtful and it was painful, when the process started, and, you're literally, you're cutting ties with that person. And what happens is you're cutting ties with that person, and it, especially if you've been with them a really long time, like it's a lot of undoing of things that you have to do. So for me, um it was difficult, and I had to give myself that time to make sure that, I make sure that I didn't, just try to, like, move on too quick, or, dismiss the feelings that I had. I definitely had to learn how to cope with the feelings that I had, and I had to acknowledge the feelings that I had. If I was hurt, I acknowledged that. If I was sad, I acknowledged that. And I was gentle with myself. I gave myself space and time to cope, because that's important. You have to you can't just dismiss your feelings. You have to, you don't want to wallow in your feelings. You don't want to do that. But you definitely want to acknowledge your feelings, and you want to, you want to kind of nurse them a little bit, and, you know, be gentle on yourself, because it's a difficult situation. So, like I said, I got a therapist. I started meditating. I started meditating really heavy, because at this point, like, I wasn't even sleeping very often. So, I did meditation all throughout the day. I would do meditation when I got up in the morning. I would do meditation midday. I would put on a sleep meditation at night. And even before I went to sleep, I would put on a meditation just to kind of like decompress, just to kind of like clear my head. So that was really good. I journaled a lot to get my feelings out. I love to write. So that really, helped me a lot. So I was able to write down just, everything that I was going through. Another thing that I did was, so meditation is a part of self-care, definitely. But another thing that I did was, I did things that made me happy. I went to the movies. I hung out with my sisters. I started finding myself again, because when you're in a marriage and you've been in it for a really long time, you literally take on the identity of, just a married person, and you sometimes lose yourself and lose who you are in that marriage or in that relationship. So basically, I just, was just on this journey to just find, who I was, and, find myself again. So, I did a lot of, a lot of reading, a lot of self-help books. I did a lot of, just a lot of taking like personality tests, taking, just different little things I was doing just to make sure that, I was giving myself attention. I wasn't seeking the attention from anybody else, but, I was focusing on myself. and me and my sisters, we did, thank God for my sisters, because they really, kept me, grounded and kept me together. And so did my mom. Having family around when you're going through like a really difficult time, it's a really good thing. That support system, it's needed, you know. And a lot of people, I don't know about you guys, but for me, sometimes I just, when I'm going through something, I want to go through it by myself. I don't really want to talk to nobody. But having my family there and having them, be supportive to me was something that was really, really helpful to me. And I really appreciated them for it. They were there during the darkest times, and they were there when I started to, come up out of it. So that was really good. Something else that I did that helped me get through my divorce was I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched a lot of videos on how to get through, going through a divorce. And a lot of those videos that I watched were Iyanla's videos. I watched a lot of and I also watched like a lot of funny videos to like keep my spirits lifted, because once I got out of that space where I was sad and I was hurt, I started to heal. So I didn't want to be sad, all the time or whatever. I wanted to, be happy and be in a happy space. So I was watching all kind of stuff, just stuff to make me laugh, and I try to stay away from during that time, I try to stay away from like sad love stories, because it just made me think of like my own sad, love stories. So I didn't watch those, but I watched like happy comedies, funny stuff, just things to help me, keep a smile on my face, and not necessarily think back in that space. And I also found a meditation that was really helpful to me was one of the things that they said in it was when you find yourself thinking an old thought, just think to yourself, this is an old thought. I no longer choose to think that way. And I found myself doing that all the time. Like I was constantly reminding myself, do not think of certain things, because that's no longer. So you have to literally be conscious with exactly what your thoughts are. You have to guard your thoughts, and you have to make sure that you're thinking positive thoughts. I did a lot of affirmations. Positive affirmations worked really, really well. I still do them now. I still meditate now. Like that has become, I'm never giving up meditation. So I'm gonna always continue to do that, because it really helps you to clear your mind. But I did a lot of positive affirmation in the morning, and these were suggestions of my therapist. And something else that I also did, oh, let me grab it. It's a book by Derek Jackson. I watch a lot of his videos too, and Ace Metaphor, I watched a lot of his videos too. Stefan Speak, I watched some of his stuff too. But I was really, really heavy into getting Derek stuff. Let me show y'all. The book that I actually have, let me see. This book, it's a Self-Crown, the Self-Crown, this book right here. This book, y'all, is the bomb. So what it is, it's a Self-Crown journal, and it's by Derek Jackson. And for a while there, I was also a part of his VIP self-crown group. He has an app, and that was really helpful too, because I would like log on Monday nights and listen to the apps, and he would give advice. So it's like when my therapist wasn't around, it was really good to hear, and it's really nice to hear from a guy's perspective too, so that way you're not like trying to run back into the same stuff that you were in. So it's nice to hear from a guy's point of view everything that just it's just really nice to hear from a guy's point of view. Like it's nice to hear from women's point of view, but it's also nice to hear from men's point of view too. So yeah, this book was really helpful. And also he wrote another book. I wonder if I don't know. I must have I don't know what I did with it, but I read it. And it was really good. So y'all definitely check out Derek stuff. Derek Jackson. You can find him on like Instagram and YouTube, and Facebook. So he has really good stuff too to, help you cope with things, and to put things in perspective for you. So let me see what else. What else did I do? Oh, yes. So once I finally, like, once my divorce was final, and, I felt like, okay, like I was on the right track, and, I gave myself a lot of attention. I gave myself a lot of time and space. I didn't shy away from speaking to people. Like that I thought was gonna be like so hard to, like, like if like a guy approached me, I didn't want to talk to him, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like, like I have so much shit going on, I don't even want to talk to nobody. But like, like after months of going through, therapy, and then, after I stopped, after I wasn't going to therapy very often, and I was going out more and stuff, people would approach me, and, I would, speak to them. But man, let me tell y'all, red flags, I pick them up quick. And I pick them up quick, and nobody really lasts, for very long, because it's just like you you know what you want and you know what you don't want, so you're not necessarily giving your attention to the things that you don't want. So when someone present themselves and it's not something that you want, like, you just, you don't go with it. But yeah, so that was another thing too. So getting out and getting to know other people is also something that's good. It didn't help me get to get through my divorce, because my divorce was already final. But after my divorce was final and everything, like, I didn't feel guilty of, speaking to anyone else. So that was good. So that was it, guys. So this is our first video on, how to deal with a divorce. And then next time we'll pick up and we'll talk about, dealing with a divorce, with children, or how to deal with your partner cheating on you, and how to deal with a divorce when you still love your partner. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any suggestion, definitely leave them in the comments below. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna leave my username in the link in the description. But follow me on Instagram at Kareel T. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Kareel. I think it's Kareel T. I'll leave it in the description box too. But nice talking to y'all, and we will talk some more. Bye.